What do you do? It's your boy Bossni. We back with another video, man. Today we got jaw-dropping police dash cam moments. You'd think they were fake. Let's get straight to it, man. I'm already thinking some of these are fake.
Hey, adrenaline junkies, buckle up, because we're delivering the craziest chases, insane stunts, and heart-stopping action. Full throttle adrenaline all the way. Get ready to unleash pure rush. Let's go.
Woo! My fault.
Georgia's highway patrol doesn't mess around when it comes to speed. With a fleet of Dodge Chargers and a new arsenal of souped-up Chevrolet Camaros added in 2022, they're built to catch almost anything on the road. But on March 27, 2022, a different beast tried to outrun them. A 2015 BMW clocked at 108 miles per hour in a 65 zone. The driver, Deontay Dougherty. Trooper Swain pulled up behind the speeding BMW and followed as it veered off the highway. For a second, it looked like Deontay was going to pull over on the exit ramp, but then he floored it. Behind the wheel, Deontay had two young women with him, something the officers might not have known at the time. But that didn't change his actions. Up until now, he'd kept the chase on I-75, northwest of downtown Atlanta. But then, he made a risky decision, diving straight into the heart of the city. Flying through red lights and cutting across traffic with zero concern for anyone's safety, it was clear this chase needed to end fast. One wrong move at those speeds, and it could have been catastrophic.
Somebody getting south of us. We're coming back up towards the spring, towards the 10th. Clear, clear, clear. Clear, clear, clear. Clear left, clear right.
Boy, that adrenaline you must feel when you running away from the police and you winning.
Can see clear left.
I don't think
Clear right.
he's not winning, but when you winning,
Finally, after a wild pursuit through the city streets, Deontay lost control and collided with multiple cars.
ooh, I don't think
When
he
the
should have
dust
did that.
settled and the sirens faded, the
Hey.
officers approached, ready to make the arrest.
I don't think he should have did that, bro. Bro, that car, it was obvious that the car was on and it was parked on the side and that he would have got hit if you pitted him. Who paying for this, bro? Because you done fucked the back of my truck up. Who paying for that? Damn, that could have been bad, bro. Now, had the dude in the black truck been concussed and had a brain injury or something like that, what would have happened? Would the police get in trouble for that? Can he sue? I'd have sued the shit out of this nigga. What you doing pitting niggas behind me? Got all the niggas on the street?
In a bizarre turn, Deontay and the troopers shared a few laughs about their cars. Even he had to admit, the GSP's Charger Hellcats were on a whole different level. He was slapped with a laundry list of charges, fleeing, reckless driving, and speeding. And with the damage done to several vehicles, it's still unclear who's footing the repair bill.
Unclear.
One thing's for sure.
We'll clear it up.
Hopefully, everyone had good insurance. Because outrunning the law, that's a price no one wants to pay. An ordinary day on I-30 turned into a high-stakes pursuit for Arkansas State Police Officer Corbin Freeman. He was cruising eastbound when a speeding BMW roared up behind him, weaving dangerously through traffic. But as soon as the driver spotted Trooper Freeman's patrol car, he backed off the gas, trying to play it cool. Freeman wasn't fooled. He tailed the BMW, trying to catch a glimpse of the license plate. Then he decided it was time to act, flashing the lights for a traffic stop. But the second they blinked on, the young driver punched it and took off. Freeman went on the offensive, trying to set up a pit maneuver to end things quickly. But with traffic building up in the opposite lane, he had to pull back. One wrong move, and the BMW could have jumped the median and crashed head-on into someone. So Freeman stayed hot on his tail, watching as the driver blew through red lights and threaded the needle between cars.
Yeah, he whipping. He'd have got me a few times right there.
Seizing an opening, Freeman went for another pit maneuver. But this driver wasn't giving up without a fight. He swerved out of the way and kept on running.
Hey, the way they was driving in Fast and Furious, can you really drive like that, bro? Cause I done seen a lot of police chases, but I never see the nigga whip the piss out that motherfucker. Like, you know how they be in Tokyo Drift, around the corner. Nobody do that. Why nobody be doing that? Can it be done? Nah, this dude he's strategic, bro. I give him that. He about to do something crazy. I can feel it.
West 53rd Street. Coming back up University.
The chase eventually led into a parking lot where the driver abandoned the car and bolted on foot. Freeman followed, leaping over a chain link fence. But as he climbed, his hand slipped, slicing open on the sharp metal. Bleeding and in pain, he had no choice but to stop the chase. And back at the car, Freeman found the driver's 16-year-old brother still sitting inside. Police contacted the boy's mother, who claimed her son was driving someone else's car. But when they searched it, they found more than just a reckless teen driver. Inside was 21.6 grams of prescription pills and a digital scale, a clear sign of something much bigger at play. This was no ordinary traffic stop. It was a dangerous game of cat and mouse that ended with shattered fences, bloodied hands, and a major drug bust.
What type of pills he selling?
Test driving a car usually means taking it for a spin around the block. But for Molina, it meant driving off with a brand new Honda Civic without paying a dime.
How could you ever think that would work? You think you could just take a vehicle from a dealership and run away with this bitch? I'm 1000% sure they got trackers on it.
I'll take the radio. We're southbound now, approaching 5th Street. Southbound now on the road, getting to 36th Street.
There you go. The highway niggas, look, highway niggas driving 20 in a 60. Can't stand people going on the highway. But if I was on a high speed chase and I see you going 20 under the speed limit, I'd be so pissed. I'd be so pissed. I would be furious, bro.
Molina's joyride came to a screeching halt when she lost control, slamming into multiple vehicles and then smashing headfirst into a concrete barrier. The Civic was totaled, but Molina still wasn't ready to surrender.
She gonna jump, ain't she?
Hey, right before the exit to 25 Street, Miami, short fire. Steve, I short fire. Down.
Extra ass nigga.
With the driver's side door jammed shut, she squeezed through the passenger window and made a desperate leap into the water below.
No way.
Lucky for her, it was deep enough to break her fall. Officers quickly tossed her safety ropes, but Molina wasn't having it. She rejected their help, struggling to stay afloat. It took officers diving in themselves to save her from drowning. After a brief struggle in the water, they dragged her back to dry land and slapped on the cuffs. Molina was hit with charges of battery on a police officer and grand theft auto, landing her a spot in the Miami-Dade County Jail.
All right, wait. Hypothetically speaking, right? Let's say you were a police officer and a person jumps into a very, very deep lake. Is it in your job description to save that person's life? Like, I'm granted, I would do that. I would save your life, you know what I'm saying? But like, are you, like, if I can't, let's say the nigga can't swim. Like, hey, you don't want to grab this rope. I can't swim. You can't swim. Are you willing to just die? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, is it in the job? Like, will I get punished if I don't save this person because I can't swim? Is what I'm trying to ask. And they don't want to willingly take the rope that I'm giving them. You know what I'm saying? Damn, bro. How much shit is in the back of their truck? Cause they, like, bro, they got ropes. Like, They got everything in the back of that truck, just in case. They have everything for every scenario, bro. Because who would have thought that would have ended up happening? You know what I'm saying? Talking about, I don't want no help. Well, you going to jail regardless. So either you die or you going to jail. What do you want?
Really?
We all know that type of driver. The ones who think the rules don't apply to them. Those arrogant folks zooming down the shoulder, cutting in line like they're VIPs in a traffic jam. But there's nothing sweeter than seeing them get what they deserve. And that's exactly what happened on May 11th, 2020.
May have some damage. And
Oh, I thought he turned.
Now, English roads aren't exactly built for high-speed chases. Our driver, Simon, must have figured that out way too late. Turns out he and his buddy Dean weren't just in a rush, they were running. And for good reason. They had 5 kilograms of hard drugs worth £500,000 pounds stashed away.
Damn, he got the butterfly doors running?
One out on foot, it is off-road. It's one out and running. The driver's still in the vehicle, we're onto grassland. Passenger, IC1, green top.
Simon tried playing it cool, telling the cops he bought his $100,000 BMW with money he made from breeding dogs and chopping trees. Yeah, right. We're not buying it. Pretty sure those funds came from a more illicit trade. As for Dean, he tried to disappear by hailing a cab like nothing happened, but he made one big mistake, ditching his backpack in a bush. The cops found it in no time. The result? 7 years behind bars for Simon and 6 for Dean. Guess cutting the line wasn't worth it after all.
You got all them drugs in your whip and you not following the traffic law? Like, that's probably the worst way you go out, bro. You got 7 years worth of drugs in the back of your trunk and you want to save 5 minutes by cutting the line? Nigga, if you don't sit in that line with 10 and 2 on the steering wheel and sit there in traffic.
A night 23-year-old Layman Rashid would regret forever. It started off as a routine stop. Layman pulled over and the officer approached his window. But then things took a wild turn. In the blink of an eye, Layman stomped on the gas and that Hellcat roared to life, leaving the officer in the dust.
No way he catching the Hellcat.
Take a look at how fast he creates a gap. Thankfully, it was nearly 4 a.m. and the road was mostly deserted. But now, our trooper was in a race.
How you get
hitting
caught up?
over 150 miles per hour just to keep up. Layman had a plan. Stick to the highway.
How'd you get
No
caught?
red lights to worry about. Just open road.
Boy, if it was me, I'd have been up north by now. Nigga got caught.
He thought his Hellcat could outmuscle any police cruiser. But that confidence crumbled when another officer threw down a set of spike strips right in his path.
Damn.
Here's the thing. Once those spikes do their job, it's game over. The tires deflate slowly, preventing dangerous blowouts. And before you know it, the ride's done. Layman knew his run was up. He pulled over.
The nerve of this nigga to put the hazard lights on, bro. We know. We know you fucked up in there. We know. Hey, do they practice putting the spike strips down? Because he did that shit with no effort. Hold on. I do this shit with no effort. Look how he did.
That confidence crumbled when another officer threw down a set of spike strips right in his path.
He said,
here's the thing. Once those spikes do their job, it's game over.
Nah, he did that.
The time now. They were concerned a string of charges, DUI, fleeing a traffic stop, and reckless driving. But you have to give credit to the officers. They were concerned for his safety, despite the chaos he caused. Layman put his life and countless others at risk. And now, he's paying the price. August 23rd, 2022. A day that started with a routine traffic stop and quickly escalated into a high-speed cat-and-mouse game. In Arkansas, officers pulled over a silver Corvette, all because of some illegal window tints. Nothing major, right? But what happened next? Nobody saw it coming. As soon as the Corvette came to a halt, the driver hit the gas, only to stop abruptly moments later to let his passenger bail out. Clearly, the guy in the passenger seat wanted nothing to do with whatever was about to go down.
Okay.
With the door shut, the Corvette tore off again. Our officer tried to keep up, but it was like chasing a ghost. The Corvette disappeared from view in seconds. Minutes later, there's a glimpse. The Corvette shows up again, tauntingly close, only to vanish once more. With rain now pouring down and visibility getting worse, the chase was called off for safety.
Bro,
Frustratingly, it turned out this Corvette wasn't just any car. It had a special license plate usually reserved for law enforcement, but a quick Google search revealed that anyone can apply for one.
Yeah, anyone can apply for it. To have your license plate like vanished to where police officers can't look you up, there's a form you got to fill out to do it. However, you raise more of a red flag doing that, because if someone were to if a police officer were to be behind you and they randomly check your tag and they see that, they pulling you over immediately, because they be wondering like, why the fuck can't I see your license plate and who you is? You know what I'm saying? But bro, if I was in a high speed chase and it started raining, oh my god! And I know I need new tires soon. I might have to go pull over, bro, because I know I'm cooked.
Akeem Rich. On March 10th, 2021, a Lake County Sheriff's deputy clocked him doing 78 miles per hour in a 55 zone. The deputy rolled up on his motorcycle and asked Akeem to lower his window. But here's the thing. Our motorcycle cop knew better than to risk his life chasing down this repeat offender. He already had Akeem's face and license plate on camera. It wouldn't take long for the team back at HQ to track him down. 19 days later, they did just that. With a warrant in hand, officers surrounded Akeem's car at his apartment complex in Leesburg. But they should have known Akeem wasn't going down without a fight. As officers closed in, Akeem floored it, nearly clipping one deputy in the process. He darted past another patrol unit and hit the open road, weaving through traffic and blasting through red lights like a bat out of hell. The chase was on.
That spike strip ain't do nothing? It looked like it made contact.
Up ahead, an officer readied spike strips at an intersection, hoping to put an end to the madness. But Akeem pulled a last-second maneuver, dodging the spikes completely.
Yeah, he ain't had to finesse like the last dude.
The chase only got crazier as he sped through residential streets, showing zero concern for anyone's safety.
Yeah, they just ain't got the pizzazz like how like the other dude had it, bro. What type of throw was that? Pathetic.
An undercover unit tried keeping up, but the officer ended up skidding off the road and losing ground. After recovering, the undercover officer sped back into the chase, now armed with something special, a Star Chase dart. Think of it like a gadget straight out of a Bond movie. Mounted on the front bumper, this device can be fired from inside the car, attaching a GPS tracker to the back of a suspect's vehicle.
Oh.
With Akeem's car tagged, there was no more hiding.
What do you think is like Batman? They got a gadget for everything. Bro, what did I just say? They got, like, bro, literally any scenario, bro, they just got it. They just say, hey, bro, hold up. Flip this switch. Let's turn this bitch on. Hey, we gonna use this. They got everything, bro. That's crazy.
Tried to disappear into the nearby apartment complex, but officers were hot on his trail. While some deputies searched his abandoned car, others pursued Akeem on foot. He was finally cornered and arrested. The charges: fleeing, aggravated assault, and driving with a suspended license. After all his stunts and near misses, Akeem's joyride ended with him back in cuffs.
Now, I know you probably don't think that they would do that, because I wouldn't think that they do that, but you would hear something connect to the back of your car, would you not? When you're in your vehicle, you feel when something touches your vehicle, no matter how small it is. A pebble could hit on the top of your vehicle and you hear it. You know what I'm saying? Especially with your adrenaline pumping, you hear this everything. How you don't hear that shit getting attached to you? And then you get out the car, you gonna park the car in the open. You're not gonna find a garage or park that bitch in the grass in the back of the building or something. And then I don't know if I would do like a look around on my vehicle, but whenever I leave my vehicle, I always look behind myself and look at the vehicle. You know what I'm saying? Especially after hitting another car, I would at least check to see if my car got any damage. He got too happy when he seen that they did.
It's a perfect reminder. Run all you want, but eventually, the law catches up. Police in Ocala had their sights set on 24-year-old Tyler Faye Consolo, and he wasn't going to make things easy for them. According to Tyler, it all started when he was just minding his own business at a gas station. That's when, he claims, someone tried to rob him. So naturally, his response was to stomp on the gas and race out of there, hitting speeds over 3 times the legal limit and swerving like a madman. The Florida police had been tailing him ever since he peeled out of the gas station in Ocala. Officers tried pulling him over, but Tyler wasn't stopping. He barreled through a residential area, mowing down a mailbox and leaving a trail of destruction in his wake. The car skidded to a halt, and Tyler made a desperate dash on foot. He didn't get far.
Hey, what the fuck? How he just did that?
A K-9 unit was hot on his heels, and the next thing Tyler knew, the dog had its teeth sunk deep into his leg. When officers finally cuffed him, Tyler stuck to his story about the attempted robbery. But if that was true, why didn't he stop to ask for help? And what about that fence he smashed through? And to top it all off, on the way to the hospital, Tyler admitted he'd been using drugs that night.
Oh, we know.
Among other substances.
We know.
The result? He was hit with a laundry list of charges. DUI, fleeing, and resisting arrest.
Damn, the charges.
Oh, and that headbutt he used to break through the car window.
He headbutted it?
Officers couldn't help but joke. Well, that's one way to use your head.
But you know how hard a window is out of a car? He headbutted that. But they not asking the right questions, bro. Who paying for that fence?
Tyler's wild story started with an unbelievable excuse and ended with him in handcuffs. If he thought he could outrun the law with that tale, he's got a lot more time to think things over in a jail cell. Cabrisha, Ledwana Caldwell, managed to stay off the radar for 4 long years. A Florida Highway Patrol officer pulled her over, and in an instant, all her carefully laid plans began to unravel. When the officer approached, he noticed Cabrisha was visibly shaking, eyes darting nervously between the officer and her purse in the back seat. The officer asked her to step out of the car, and that's when Cabrisha made her move. She stomped on the gas and blasted down the highway, taking the Collins Road exit. The officer lit up his sirens, and the chase was on. Cabrisha veered into a shopping plaza, weaving through the crowded parking lot, then swung back onto the main road as if she could somehow outmaneuver the police. But this wasn't over yet. With police hot on her tail, she tried every trick she could think of, darting through traffic, blowing through intersections, and disregarding everyone's safety. Out of options, Cabrisha aimed for her final escape route, the front doors of a Home Depot. She jumped out of the car and ran inside, hoping to vanish among the aisles of lumber and power tools. But police weren't far behind. They stormed in and apprehended her right in the middle of the store. We believe she's the only fugitive ever caught inside a Home Depot. Interestingly, her arrest report lists her primary language as Italian, though she didn't speak a single word of it while sitting in the back of the patrol car. Maybe it was a paperwork error, or just one more oddity in Cabrisha's wild story. It wasn't until after her arrest that officers discovered the real reason she was so desperate to escape.
Warrant, you know.
Cabrisha had outstanding warrants in 5 different counties for a laundry list of crimes: grand theft, petty theft, possessing someone else's ID, and illegal use of a credit card.
But that's the thing about the warrants, bro. You might be free, but let them niggas catch you, bro. You know what I'm saying? You could have hit somebody 5 years ago and been on the run, and you good. You got a job. You got this. You that. They just waiting on you to do one wrong traffic move, bro. They pull you over. It don't matter if you in the other side of the world. I mean, it don't matter if you're on the other side of the country. You got the warrant in Florida and you in Cali right now. You got a warrant? Oh yeah, nah. Fly this nigga back to where he from. He got to handle that. You hit who? 10 years ago. Lock his ass up, bro. Because you want to run red lights and shit. You should have been more careful. Nah, I got a question though. Let's say you got a warrant and you go to a different country. It don't matter, right? I guess it depends on how bad what you did back home was. But if we're in a country where, like, if you got a warrant for like DV or something like that, even though how bad that is, if they catch me in fucking, I don't know, they catch me in the Dominican Republic, can they even see that I have a warrant? Like, how does that work?
A known drug addict from Marion County, Florida, a 2015 Hyundai Elantra. The stolen car was cruising down Abshore Boulevard when Sheriff's Deputy Samantha Horn spotted it heading southeast. A quick computer check confirmed it. This was the vehicle they'd been hunting for, and with that, the chase was on. Ignoring the flashing lights and sirens, they floored it, speeding down the boulevard, determined to escape. Up ahead, officers had already deployed spike strips across the road, hoping to put an end to this dangerous pursuit. Harley didn't even try to swerve. He drove straight over the spikes, shredding one of his tires.
What dumbass? Bro, nigga, that's the shit I be talking about. What are you doing? You don't look before you turn?
Into this dangerous pursuit. Harley didn't even try to swerve. He drove straight over the spikes, shredding one of his tires.
Like, bro, people be too unaware of their surroundings. You hear a police car. As loud as them sirens be, you hear that. You still turn. You don't look before you turn? Come on, bro.
As the Elantra slowed to
Who
a
paying
crawl,
for it?
officers moved in and forced the car to a stop. With nowhere left to run, Harley and Harrison were finally cornered and taken into custody. Harley was slapped with a long list of charges.
Bro, the whole front of her shit caved in. She's still pushing.
Including grand theft auto, fleeing, and possession of drug paraphernalia. Harrison wasn't off the hook either. Officers found a needle stashed in the passenger door, landing him a possession charge of his own. Harley and Harrison might have thought they could outrun the law, but this isn't a video game. There's no reset button when reality catches up. Little Rock, Arkansas. State Trooper. Rodney Dunn clocked a red SUV speeding at 84 miles per hour in a 70 miles per hour zone. He flipped on his lights and initiated.
Bro, that's so petty, bro. Don't pull me over for doing 10 over.
Little Rock, Arkansas. State Trooper. Rodney Dunn clocked a red SUV speeding at 84 miles per hour in a 70 miles per hour zone.
14 miles over. Ooh. Bro, I be seeing State Patrol do 100 in a 70, bro. I don't want to hit none of that 14 miles per over speeding nonsense. What? Bro, I was driving today on the toll. I was taking the toll. You know, tolls be like 70 miles per hour. I'm a left lane driver. I'm doing 80. It's 70 miles. I'm doing 80. Ooh, whatever. I'm driving. I see State Trooper behind me, speeding behind me, like gaining up on me. I'm like, all right, let me scoot over and come back over, because I'm doing 80. God knows what he's doing, because he's gaining on me fast. I scoot over, I scoot back in after he passed me. He's gone in 5 seconds. That nigga is doing 100, bro. Not signaling when he's swerving left to the next lane and coming back into the passing lane. He's not using one signal, bro. Let that have been me. I'm getting 3 tickets, bro. Them niggas don't be can, bro.
He flipped on his lights and initiated.
Don't pull me over for that.
The driver, Janice Harper, did something unexpected. Instead of pulling over, she slowed down, turned on her hazard lights, and kept driving.
All right. I would think the hazard lights are indicating that. I don't know what that's indicating, because I'm thinking she's looking for a nearest exit to take so that she can pull over safely, but...
To Trooper Dunn, it seemed like Harper was refusing to comply. So, he made a snap decision that changed everything. He moved in and executed a pit maneuver, spinning her vehicle and sending it crashing into the median. In an instant, the SUV flipped, landing on its roof.
Ooh.
Smoke billowed from the undercarriage. Airbags were deployed, and the vehicle was a crumpled mess. Trooper Dunn immediately called for EMS and ran over to check on the driver, unsure of the damage he'd just caused. That's when he heard something that made his heart sink. Harper was pregnant. She explained that she hadn't pulled over right away because she didn't feel safe stopping on the narrow shoulder.
That's what I was assuming. I was assuming she was waiting until it get to an exit so that she could pull over in a more safer area. That's what but I was like, bro, like after like 2 miles, the next exit from now for another mile, you gonna really make it, you know what I'm saying? Right.
She wanted to wait until she reached the Vandenberg Boulevard exit, which was just a mile away.
Can she sue for this? Because technically she wasn't pulling over, but then again, she wasn't running. She was going the speed limit with the hazards on. This lady was just, the police officer was just impatient. So can she get, I sue. It's worth the risk. You done flipped my shit over, got this shit fuming. I got a baby in my stomach. Yeah, I'm suing.
Dunn argued she should have pulled over, regardless. Fortunately, Harper escaped with minor injuries, and her unborn child was unharmed. But the incident didn't end there. Harper filed a lawsuit against Trooper Dunn, claiming the pit maneuver was completely unnecessary and put both her and her baby's lives at risk. She argued that the hazards and reduced speed were a clear indication that she intended to comply.
It was.
She just needed a safe place to stop.
Yeah.
The lawsuit alleged that Trooper Dunn's maneuver was performed negligently, resulting in the dangerous flip.
Yeah, the pit maneuver was a little OD because it's like they wasn't speeding, they wasn't going fast, they was in the third lane. They had the hazards on. Yeah, it was too many signs showing you that give me a second, I'm gonna pull over. You just was impatient. So let me hear, how much did she get off the suing?
In the end, the Arkansas State Police decided to settle the lawsuit. They acknowledged that Dunn's actions had put Harper and her unborn child in harm's way.
Okay.
Her case sent shockwaves through the department, leading to a reevaluation of how pit maneuvers are used. Harper's legal battle didn't just end with a settlement. It led to policy changes within the Arkansas State Police, reshaping how and when officers can deploy pit maneuvers during pursuits. One woman's terrifying experience on a July night ended up changing the rules for law enforcement across the state. Proof that sometimes, even in the heat of a high-speed chase, safety and understanding should come first.
How much did she get, bro? I hate that. We know she made money because it was a settlement, but how much?
May 19th, 2021. It's just after 7 a.m. in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, when police receive a call that sets off a wild chain of events. A group of 5 juveniles packed into a stolen black Infiniti QX60 was caught red-handed trying to break into a garage. But before the homeowner could intervene, they jumped back into their getaway car and sped off. An APB was put out on the stolen vehicle. It didn't take long for officers to spot the SUV cruising down Interstate 95. They flipped on their lights and sirens, signaling the driver to pull over. But these kids weren't interested in giving up. Chaos erupted as the Infiniti weaved through traffic at high speed.
I never thought to do that. I always wondered what would happen if you did that, but seeing it happen it's unbelievable that someone would do that. I thought those things, I guess they rubber. I thought they was metal. Oh. Yo! What type of maneuver was that?
Remarkably,
Oh! Was that his head? Oh!
Remarkably, despite the dangerous speeds and reckless behavior, nobody was seriously injured in the incident.
You sure that guy's okay?
All 5 juveniles were transported to Joe DiMaggio Children's Hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. And while they were all charged for their crimes, the details remain under wraps because they're minors. Thanks for riding.
Nah, bro. It's no way in hell that car didn't hit his head. Smash the like button. If you're going to do it high speed, make sure you win. But don't do the high speed because you're going to lose. Smash the like button. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, man. We out.
Bitch tryna tell me about the future, I said tight vibe. I told her we together forever, shit I tight lie. But I bet not see her in no nigga face, she tight mine. Tend to buy no bitch, too many bitches on my timeline. like the big